So good day everyone. So among i-report karon kay the history of the Muslim in the Philippines. So our topics or our table of contents is introduction, the Sultanate of Sulu, expansion of the Sultanate, struggles of independence, the role of Sharif Kapungsuan, political dynamic in Mindanao. The seventh is the key figures and decline of the Sultanate, and the ninth is the modern context, and the last is the conclusion. So introduction. So Islam was introduced to the Philippines primarily to the Arab traders in the 14th century with a significant activity noted around 1405. These traders are not only brought by the Islamic faith but also established political structures that would influence the region for centuries, and the introduction of Islam coincided with the decline of the Hafid Empire, allowing Muslim traders to gain a foothold in the southern Philippines, particularly in the area like Luzon and Mindanao. So, accordingly, sa information na they provide, it is primarily introduced to the Philippines Arab traders in the 14th century. So, significantly, activity noted around the 1405, these Arab traders are not only brought the Islamic faith but also established political structures that would influence the region of the centuries. And also by the decline of the Empire or the Buddhist kingdom based on Java. This allowed Muslim traders to gain a foothold in southern Philippines and areas like Luzon and Mindanao. So the formation of Muslims and societies. So as Islam spread into the facility of the establishment of the Muslim political institution, leading to the formation of the various sultanates. So the most notable among this was the Sultanate of the Sulu, founded by Abu Bakr, an Arab from the Sumatra around 1450. So the Sultanate became a significant center of the Islamic cultures and the governance in the region. So the arrival of missionaries from diverse backgrounds, including Arabs and Malays, further strengthened the Islamic presence, although the region would later face challenges from Spanish colonization with the introduction or introduced by Christianity. So by the spread of the Islamic region, the spread of the Islamic region by facilitated by the closest ties by the East African Muslims. So had developed with the region, Muslim merchants and traders played a key role in introducing the faith of Southern Asia and including the Philippines. And by the decline of the Mahavit Empire and the political instability it causes the region also contributed by the spread of Islam. So mo to siya ang reason that Islam was spread. So this allowed Muslim traders and missionaries to establish a presence and gain influence by the southern of the Philippines. So by the introduction, the cultural impact from the Philippines, from the political structures and established by the Arab traders and continue influence the region from the centuries. So the foundation of Sultanate of Sulu. Sultanate of Sulu was officially founded in 1457 by Sharif al-Hashim, who is often referred to as Sayyid Abu Bakr. He was a Johor-born explorer and a Sunni religious scholar who settled in Buansa and Sulu. This establishment of the Sultanate marked as a significant moment in the Islamization of the region. As it integrated Islamic governance into local political structures, the Sultanate represented a transformation of indigenous institution, creating a centralized political entity that the government governed in the Sulu archipelago and parts of our present-day Sabah and the North Kalimantan. So these new political structures not only facilitated the administration of the region, but also fostered a strong sense of Muslim identity among the local population. So Sharif ul-Shahim's lineage of was claimed to trace back to the Nabi Muhammad, so SAW, which further legitimized the rule and the authority of the sultanates in the eyes of the people. So throughout the Philippines, it facilitated the establishment of the Muslim political institution, leading to the formation of various sultanates. And the most notable among this was the Sultanate of the Sulu, founded by Abu Bakr, stated among the names Kanina, and Arab from the Sumatra from around 1450. So it is significant of center of the Islamic culture and governance in the region of the arrival of the missionaries from the diverse backgrounds, so including Arabs and Malays. So furthermore, tungod ato, it strengthened the Islamic presence in the Philippines. And however, the regions would later face challenges from the Spanish colonization which introduced Christianity. The Spanish colonial era had a significant impact on the spread of the influence of Islam in the Philippines. So establishment, the Sultanate of the Sulu was established in 1450 of Hashim Abukar, who is recognized as the first sultan. His ascension marked as a significant moment in the Islamization of the region. So, as it represented the formalization of Islamic governance and the integration of the Islamic principles into the political structure. So, this establishment was pivotal in transforming the indigenous institution to align the Islamic governance, thereby aligning the groundwork for the distinct Muslim identity in the Philippines. So, our significance, the Sultanate of the Sulu played a crucial role in creating a centralized governance system is in the region. This political structure not only facilitated the administration of the Sultanate, but also strengthened the community cohesion and identity among the Muslim population. So, furthermore, Abukar's lineage is often traced back to Nabi Muhammad, so SAW, which added a significant religion and cultural legitimacy to his rule and sultanate itself. So the connection to the Prophet of Muhammad reinforced the sultanate's authority and its role as a center of Islamic culture and governance in the Philippines. So the expansion of the sultanate. The Sultanate also experienced significant expansion during its peak, established during the vast territorial reach. Part of the extensive territory allowed the expert of considerable influence by the region. So, territorial reach, at its height, the Sultanate of Sulu empowered a vast area of including Zamboanga Basilan, Sulu, Tawe-Tawe, Palawan, and parts of Sabah. So, this extensive territorial reach established the Sultanate as a significant political entity in the region, allowing it to exert influence over various coastal settlements in Ireland. And a foreign relation, um, sultanates actively engage in a trade of alliances with the neighboring Muslims and in the region, notably Brunei and Makassar. This relationship facilitated the economic prosperity and strengthened the Sultanate's political power and enabling it to navigate the complex dynamics of Southern Asia political during its peak. So, in which regards, during the expansion, the establishment was a vast territorial reach that including Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawe-Tawe, and the Palawan, part of and Sabah. So the extensive territory allowed the Sultanate to exert considerable influence over the region. So Sultanate daw kay control over the vast area was a testament to the political and economic power during its heyday. So the Sultanate's influence extended across the Sulu archipelago and into its neighboring regions, solidifying as it states as the major political force in the area. So, Sultanate of Sulu expanded the territory and influence played a significant role in shaping the history of dynamic southern Philippines. So, the legacy continued to have an impact of the region, political cultures, and identity to this day. So, Moto siya, ang Sulu was testament lang for political and economic power during the heyday. And by the ano niya, by shaping it helped shaping the history of the Philippines, and to this day legacy continues to having an impact on the region's political cultures and identity. So mo siya. And the struggles of for independence, the Sulu Sultanate engaged in a prolonged struggles against colonialism, resisting both Spanish and American rule for 1578 to 1927. So, despite facing significant challenges, so the Sultanate managed to maintain its independence until 1936. So, even as it experienced a political decline, so this resistance was marked by a series of conflict and negotiations that underscored the Sultanate's determination to uphold its sovereignty in the face of colonial approachment. So Sulu was engaged like prolonged like from 1578 to 1997. So despite the facing of significant challenges, the Sultanate have managed to maintain its independence until 1936, even as it experienced a political decline. So the resistance was marked by a series of conflicts and negotiations that underscored the Sultanate's determination to uphold its um, sovereign sovereignty in the face of colonial encouragements. So the Sultanate's ability to resist the colonial rules for such an extended period of time. So acumen from the strength is its local support. So even as the Sultanate power waned over time, so unwavering resistance to the foreign domination, so the remained landmark define the characteristics of its to its history. So the struggle against colonialism shaped as the Sultanate's legacy and its place in a broader narrative in southern Asia, so political and resistant in imperial expansion. So colonial resistance, what have talked late kanina. So the Sulu Sultanate actively resisted Spanish-American colonialism from 1578 to 1927. So engaging in a numerous conflict to protect its sovereignty, this long-standing resistance have highlighted the Sultanate's determination to maintain its independence against the foreign power. So maintain independence. So maintaining the independence despite experiencing political decline, the Sultanate successfully maintained its independence until 1936. This resilience allowed it to navigate the challenges posed by the colonial rules and even its political influence waned over the years. So the rule of Sharif Kabung Suwan. So arrival in Mindanao, Sheriff Kabunsuan arrived in 1515. So established the Sultanate of Maguindanao. His arrival marked as a significant turning point in the region, as he was instrumental in introducing Islam to the local communities and laying the foundation of a structured political entity. So his leadership played a crucial role in consolidating emerging Muslim communities in Mindanao. Kabunsuan's efforts significantly advanced the Islamization of the region, so fostering unity among various tribes and establishing a lasting Islamic influence that shaped the culture and political landscape of Mindanao. So Sharif Kabungsuwan arrived in 1515, so like marked a significant turning point in the region of history as the passage states, and his arrival is the instrument of introducing the local communities, laying a foundation of structured political entity in the Sultanates of Maguindanao. So, ang establishment of the Sultan Maguindanao under the Sheriff of Kabungsuan leadership was a pivotal moment as a shape of the region's subsequent development. This event brought about the introduction of Islam, and which will go to become a dominant religion and cultural influence of Mindanao. So, ang creation of the Sultanate Mindanao represent the emergence of more organized political structure in the region, and which will go to become a dominant religion cultural influence by Mindanao. So, beginning of a new era of political and social transformation in Maguindanao. So, a transition was significant to it laid to the groundwork of a region future and development of integration into a regional global network. So, this sultanate of Maguindanao will go to play a crucial role in the history of politician in the Philippines and the southern Asia. So, next is my friend.
So, good morning, everyone. Today, we'll be discussing the rise of the Buayan Sultanate, its political rivalries, and the enduring legacy of Islam in Mindanao. I'll present the cover key historical figures, the political landscape of Mindanao, and how Islamic institutions have shaped the region's cultural and political identity. So, the rise of the Buayan Sultanate and political rivalries. The Buayan Sultanate's rise to power was significantly influenced by intermarriages with the Mindanao royal family, strengthening their political and military standing in Mindanao. These intermarriages consolidated the ties between Buayan and Maguindanao, making Buayan an important power in the region. Political rivalries between the Buayan and Maguindanao sultanates often lead to conflicts, but these rivalries also played a role in uniting the sultanates against foreign threats, particularly during the Moro Wars against the Spanish. Together, they defended Muslim autonomy and resisted colonization, showing that internal disputes did not prevent them from forming alliances when their independence was threatened. The Buenos Sultanates, Assam was significantly influenced by strategic intermarriages with the Maguindanao family. These alliances certain in Buayan's political and military power, establishing it as a formidable force in Mindanao. The union not only solidified the Buayan's standing up, but also played a crucial role in its ability to challenge external threats. But despite the frequent complex political rivalries between the Bayan and Maguindanao City against common enemies. Next, key figures. First is Rahabuisan, ruler of the Maguindanao Sultanate, played a crucial role in resisting Spanish forces. As the ruler of the Maguindanao Sultanate, Rahabuisan was instrumental in resisting Spanish forces in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. His leadership in naval raids against Spanish territories and his alliances with figures like Raja Sirungan and Sultan Saidi Berkat established his legacy as a key player in the resistance against colonial powers. The next figure is Sultan Kudarat. Sultan Kudarat played a pivotal role in uniting the Muslim sultanates of Mindanao against Spanish colonization. Through strategic alliances, military campaigns, and diplomatic efforts, he consolidated Maguindanao's leadership and inspired resistance. His alliances with the sultanates of Sulu, Brunei, and the Dutch East India Company provided essential support in defending Mindanao's autonomy. The decline of the Sultanate of Buayan. As the decline of the Sultanate of Buayan began after Sultan Bangon's death in 1872. Internal conflicts such as the power struggle between Dato Uto and his uncle Bayao of Kudarangan and the betrayal by Dato Piang led to instability. The capitulation treaty with Spain in 1887 reduced Buayan to a vassal state, and by 1905 it was absorbed into the American colonial administration. During the 17th century, the rise of small principalities in Lanao led to the formation of 18 royal houses known as Pangampong Saranao. Influenced by Sharif Kabungsuan, who introduced Islam to the region, these houses, including Bayabao, Masiu, Unayan, and Baloy, played a crucial role in resisting Spanish colonization and preserving Maranao culture and Islamic identity. Modern context. Political assertion of Maranao, continued political evolution, and struggle due to colonialism. First is political assertion of the Maranao. In the modern times, the Maranao people have demonstrated resilience and adaptability through various phases of colonial and post-colonial rule. They have maintained their cultural and political autonomy while integrating into new governance structures. Despite the fragmentation of political power and challenges from colonialism, Islamic political institutions have persisted, adapting to contemporary political realities. Continued political evolution since the 18th century. Since the 18th century, Mindanao's political landscape has transformed significantly. The decline of major sultanates led to the rise of the local datus, and smaller principalities, which continued to exert influence through alliances and intermarriage. Through centralized leadership waned, Islamic political institutions remained influential, integrating with formal political structures in the post-colonial era. Struggle for political organization faced setbacks due to colonialism. Colonialism posed significant challenges to the political organization of Mindanao. Spanish colonization in the 17th and 18th centuries attempted to dismantle Islamic political institutions, leading to constant conflict and resistance from the local rulers. The Americans further exacerbated that these challenges during their occupation in the early 20th century, introducing Western style governance that marginalized traditional leaders like sultans and datus. The imposition of colonial rule disrupted centuries-old systems of governance, weakening the political cohesion of Muslim communities. Despite these setbacks, Islamic political structures adapted to the new colonial environment, often serving as mediators between colonial governments and the local population, ensuring that their cultural identity remained intact through successive regimes. So, Islam's legacy. Islam's legacy in Mindanao has profoundly impacted the region's cultural and political landscape. The historical development of Islamic political institutions provided a strong foundation for governance, social organization, and religious practices that have endured for centuries. These institutions continue to play a key role in local governance and preserving cultural identity. Muslims' resilience. The resilience of Muslim communities in Mindanao is evident in their ability to adapt and maintain cultural identity through colonial and post-colonial transitions. This resilience informs contemporary politics where traditional leaders shape and Islamic values continue to shape the region's future, especially in terms of autonomy and representation. So, in conclusion, the history of the Bayan Sultanates and the political dynamics of Mindanao reflect a rich legacy of resilience and adaptation. Despite challenges from internal conflicts and colonial powers, the enduring influence of Islamic institutions and values remains a cornerstone of the region's cultural and political